Right, so I'm going to bring in an image that I quickly sketched up for a company called Envision Smart Home Solutions. They're going to be doing CCTV surveillance and automation through web apps. So I'm going to just walk you through a logo process. We're just going to assume that they've agreed upon this look, which I showed them, and they thought it was a pretty interesting concept, so we're going to roll with it. So essentially what I'm looking for is kind of like an eye here in the center, surrounded by some sort of mechanical ring or just, a unique shape here. So this is a pretty basic logo, so I don't need to draw over it. I just wanted to kind of sketch that out as a concept for approval, quick approval. And let's go in here and start building our shapes. So first things first, always start in black and white. Now I'm going to start with the iris right here in the center. Alright, and so what I'm going to do with this is I basically have a circle, then another ring, and then another ring around that. So I'm going to create those first. I'm going to do that by going Object, Path, Offset, Path. Now you can play around with these to find out something that feels good for you. I'm going to try 20 first and hit Preview. I think that's a little thinner than I'd like, maybe 35. Go with that. And then we know this is going to be a different color. And I'm not going to go white because I want to be able to see it, so I'll just go light gray. And I'll do the same thing here. Object, Path, Offset, Path. Let's triple that, maybe. Let's try something around like 80. Yeah, I think that's good. Go with 80. Now I'm going to go ahead and make this the black again. Cool, so we've got our outside edges there, and then I wanted to create this kind of circular pattern here, but I actually want to do this a little differently now. I'm going to create my shape. Center it here. So now what I'm doing is I'm finding flaws in kind of my concept here of how I wanted to do this originally, which is fine. You're allowed to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give myself a couple of little, actually, let me show you the correct way. We're going to go up here to View, and then Rulers, Show Rulers. Now I did 1500. If I hold down Shift, you can usually feel it snap to center. There we go. Snap to center. Okay, good. Right? That is not right. Clear guides. Oh, I got it. I'm experiencing some lag here, so when it's snapping, it's actually lagging for me. Alright, so let me just go ahead and crop these. There. Alright, so that kind of gives us our quadrants. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my circle. I'm going to kind of fit it into this quadrant. Yeah, I like that idea. So now I'm going to hold down Shift, keep them legit, straight. Now I'm going to take these two, copy them, hold down Shift. Oops. Okay, sorry, I got a little crazy there. So I've got two circles. I'm going to grab one, I'm going to hold down Shift and select the other. Control C, and then Control F to place it in place. I'm going to grab both of these with left clicking, hold down Shift. Now I can drag them until I intersect there. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now hold down Shift and select all four of these. Object Group, right click, Arrange, Send to Back. That's the effect I was looking for. Perfect. So I sketched it up, but I didn't like the node spacing here between them. So cool. Now I've got a new redesign. Now I also want an effect here in the eye. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to go in here and change all of this. I'll show you a quick way to do this. If you select everything, go up here to Edit, Edit Colors, and then Recolor Artwork. Now I can go in here right? So I can change the color of whatever it is that I'm working with. In this case, our client actually wants a red color, so let's make it a really cool red. Now what I'll do is, like, here's your standard reds, it'd be somewhere in there. If you come up in here, you can kind of give it like a hyper color, maybe even bring a little bit of a pink. Gives us that unique color scheme. Yeah, see, I'm liking that already. Okay. So now this is going to be our iris, so we're actually going to have that be a different color, say charcoal. Now, we want to cut out a portion of the eye, which is really simple to do. So I'm going to hold down Shift to keep it symmetrical. I'm going to make this white. And then we're just going to take that and drag it over to where we'd like it. Now, in this case, I suggest you come down here, put it in your corner, and then just kind of create the size that you'd like. I think that's a good representation. Come up here and put it where it clicks to that center line. All right, now here's the trick. I'm going to go ahead and take this and this. By holding down Shift, you're going to come grab your Shape Builder tool, right? Come over here and you're going to hold down Alt and then click. See, it's got that minus sign that shows up. Boom. All right, now that part's taken out. Now we have a couple options here. We can leave that white. And if we do leave that white, we want to probably change our center area to white. Okay, so that's one option. Or the other option is now I've got both of these layers selected, the black, or the charcoal and the white. Come over here to my Pathfinder tool, and if I go minus front, I'm going to take that white piece out of the black piece. Boom. Alright, so another trick. Control C, Control F. I'm going to drag this over here. Do the same thing, Control C, Control F. Now I'm going to hold down Shift and I'm going to tap the up arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm doing is I'm creating this little sliver. Okay, so there's 4 up and 1 over. Just get it to where you like it. Yeah, I think that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both shapes and then do the minus front again. Cool. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and turn this black. Not charcoal, but black. I'm going to come over to my gradient selector here, but I'm going to go to my transparency, select multiply, and drop this down to, let's call it like 40% right now. So now I can take this, hold down Shift, because we held down Shift earlier, so if we can go until it intersects. Cool, now we got a nice little eye look there. And we're off to a good start. So there's a lot of things that we could do to, continually spice and add to this. You could add an effect. See what a different stroke might look like. We might give a few different variations. But this is a nice go so far. But I like it solid. All right. And a lot of times what I'll do with logos is the client might use it as a flat logo many a times, where it's just like this, keep it very simple and basic, and then you might have a more styled version every once in a while as well. So if I was to do something like that, object ungroup here, hold down Shift, Control C, Control F, copy and paste. I'm going to hold down Shift and just bring this to where I want it, or find a good little area. But what I'm trying to do is create a little bit of gloss. As a matter of fact, let's redo this. So if this is the entire shape of this circle here, right, I want this gloss to just kind of rim over this way, right, but I want it to come in a little bit. So if I did that, I would Control C, Control F, hold down Shift, bring it just like that. Select both of them, minus the front, by going to the Pathfinder. I'm going to make this white and just see what this looks like. Hold down Control in your right square bracket, and that'll bring everything to the front. You can keep moving it up. Okay. So if I did this, I go Control C, Control F. I'm going to grab it here and rotate, but if I hold Shift, it'll keep it, locked in place. So now if I come over here, I can come around and intersect these. I'm just playing with it, seeing what does this look like. You never know, you might hit a gold mine, So I may look at that and say, okay, cool, do I like that better or not? And in this case, I do. So what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to put a stroke on all these by 2 points. Just because I want to make sure that's probably not even the best way to do this. We don't want any of that extra red, is what we're. So I'm going to just drag it down here, and then now that I'm zoomed in, really get it to snap and intersect. I don't know why that one just doesn't want to. There we go. Okay. So now we're looking good. Now what you also have to do is take this, zoom out, bring another one over here. Alright, so I want to look at these edges. Okay, yeah, that looks good. That one doesn't. Neither does that one. Okay, so let's zoom in even more. 300. That one lines up nice. This one, not so much. So, there we go. Smart guides will really help lock it in, and when you zoom in, you can get down to the, down to the point there. So that looks good. Now, what I think looks funny to me is, now we've got these open areas. Now, a real simple way to do this is you can just take that same shape. I'm trying to think here. Do I want to? Here's what I'm thinking, right? We can put a stroke on this circle here. That would look bad, right? But if I go right click, arrange, send to back, now I get this new effect. And I'm not particularly liking that. So, I'm going to get rid of the stroke. And the reason why, here's what's happening for me. I don't like it against this gray background. But when I see it here, I like the cutouts. So I've already made my adjustments. I know this is good. I'm going to get rid of that just because I already have another one over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this. Okay. And I want to remove my shape builder tool. I'm going to hold down Alt. And I'm going to knock these areas out first. And then I'm going to take a look at everything. So you can see where these stop, right? These come in right here. They come out there a little bit. I'm not going to want that either. So I'm going to take those little areas out. Okay, now I still have that ring and the line. Okay, I like that. I like that. Oh, see, now we got some things that we noticed in here. Now this is just a circle. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So I want to get rid of these things that are here in the background. Nice, that looks good. So now what I can do is come back in here, give myself a clean circle. Oh, I need to recenter this. So I'm going to grab all of these. Object group. Center, center. Same with this. Center, center. Now, I already know that I'm off here, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that these touch the white before I move forward. Center, center. Okay, great. Still not touching. A little bit larger. Center, center. Good. Right? Select the white. Hold down Control and then your left square bracket, and you'll send it down a layer. One on there. Oh, so I have this grouped. So it's putting it behind everything. So I have to go Object Ungroup. Okay, now I'll take the white, center, center. Hold my Control and left square bracket. And there we are. So now we've got our logo looking clean. And I think that looks much better off to the side. But after all of this work, I'm still looking at it and I'm dissatisfied. I think I was happier when it was just kind of simpler and solid. And, and the beautiful thing is I didn't save it, unfortunately, but I'm just going to hold down Control Z and go back to where I was happy with it. And that was right there. So I do like this. I'm going to keep it this way. A couple of things that I like to do sometimes with the logo, just to maybe frame it or give it another option, is let me zoom out. And we'll create another artboard. You hold down Shift, you'll keep another square one. It doesn't have to be the same size as the first one. You just want the same aspect ratio. So it's a few different ones there. But what's cool about this is I can go Control F, hold down Shift, shrink it down. Alright, so I got that in the center, right? So now I can play with this in different options. So maybe, again, I wanted to show this to a customer, edit colors, recolor artwork. Maybe we wanted to give them a, let's say, a green, like a neon version. Let's pick a cool color. So now you can vary that up for them. Giving them different color options. Sometimes what I like to do is I'll take this layer, I'm going to go Control C, Control F. Now that placed I duplicated that right in front, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say Unite. And now what it did is it just united it into one layer, and it's here at 40%. That's probably transparency here. Yeah, multiply. We're going to make this normal. Now, why I did that is I just wanted a solid shape of the outer part of the logo. So with that, we could put a gray stroke. Something that would cap this thing. If you go right click, arrange, send to back, you can see kind of what I'm doing here. These are just, options and effects. Now, I'm probably not going to send this option to the client. I don't think this is the right look for them. But, it gives you a chance to play around with your design and see its functionality. Do I want to add something like this as a drop shadow? No, I don't really like that. So what if I take this away? There's a cool little effect sometimes too to style things up. Turn it black. So now you got a shape of your logo. And if you go up here to Effect, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur, turn your preview window on. You can see it's going to blur the outer edges here. I'll show you if I turn it up a little bit more. Right, creating that glow. Now, if you get it up high enough, really gets fuzzy. Okay, even more. Perfect. So now if I go OK, I'm going to then change that back to multiply, and I'm going to bring this percentage down a lot. And then if I come over here, let's take that, and if I come over here and grab it, shrink it down and give it this little perspective. And now you got a little floating icon. And there's all kinds of ways you can send your customer variations. Maybe you take this, hold down Shift, and rotate. Maybe I want that little eye up at the top, so I'll hold down Shift to lock it and get it in perspective. So you might vary up the O. Maybe they want it looking more like a compass, northeast, southwest, or something like that. So there's a variation. Shrink that down, hold down Shift, center it. Alright, cool. And then another way that I like to do for a customer I'm holding down Shift, by the way, when I shrink that, just to keep everything in order. If I go Object Group, now make sure if I can go center. Now I know that it's lined up evenly there. Reason why I do this is now we might want to do a black and white version. And one way I do that, this is really simple. You just click Merge. It's going to make it all like that. Object Ungroup. Actually, that didn't work well with this graphic here. But you can do the same thing and just go Edit Colors and change everything to which way you want.